Gaming Custodian.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Gaming Custodian. Today we have some weird consoles. Let's get started with the Coleco Telstar Arcade. Shaped like a triangle, each side features a different type of control. It features a steering wheel with lever, a light gun and 2 pedals. Only 4 triangular-shaped cartridges with multiple games on each were ever released. Each cartridge contained a MOS chip which allowed for a different circuit depending on the type of game. The Vectrex is special as it has a vector generator that steers the electron beam rather than going line by line like a raster-based TV set. In order to enhance the display visuals of the Vectrex, every commercially released game included its own unique translucent plastic screen overlay. Next up, the Game & Watch Panorama screen. Talk about smoke and mirrors. This console uses an LCD display in combination with a mirror to give the user the illusion of a colored display, all running for hours on 2 LR44 cell batteries. They were available in 6 different variations, each with its own unique gameplay. The Super Lady Cassette Vision is the first console to be specifically marketed for girls exclusively in Japan. Compared to the standard version, it was all pink and came in a pink carry case with a copy of Milky Princess, a game that was also aimed at the female gamer. Additionally to the Action Max console and light gun controller, the gamer needed a VCR, as the console did not provide this capability. As the light gun was the only controller, the possible game genres were limited to light gun based games. Therefore, it's not really a surprise that only 5 VHS tapes have ever been released for this system. The Viewmaster Interactive Vision featured VHS with Sesame Street and Disney characters. Just like the Action Max, it did not provide any VHS playback capability. It targets mostly the edutainment sector for younger gamers. The player makes choices by pressing one of the 5 colorful buttons. The Nintendo PlayStation. Yes, you heard that right. It was planned to be released as a hybrid that could play Nintendo cartridges, and Sony was in charge of developing the Super Disk Drive side of things. While it started out all sweet, after some disagreements Nintendo got Philips to develop the drive that was ultimately never released. The Commodore CDTV is essentially a Commodore Amiga 500 home computer with a CD-ROM drive and a remote control. It targeted the same market as the Philips CDI. The system's high price was pointed out as the main reason for its commercial failure. It was followed by the Amiga CD32. The CDI format was developed by Sony and Philips. It was targeting the same market as the Commodore CDTV. Because of the CD drive that Philips was developing for Nintendo, some of the available games feature famous Nintendo exclusive series like Super Mario and Zelda. The Nintendo Virtual Boy or VR32 features 2 red monochrome displays and a wired handheld controller. The stereoscopic games use a parallax effect to create the illusion of depth. Due to the poor sales, only 22 games were released before it was discontinued. The original Tiger R-Zone unit consists of a headset and a separate controller containing batteries. Each game cartridge has its own transparent LCD display screen, which is projected onto a mirrored surface held in front of the player's eye. The microprocessor and memory are contained inside the game cartridge. The Nintendo SatellaView is a satellite modem peripheral for the Super Famicom. It allowed players to download games, magazines and other media through satellite broadcasts. A total of 114 games were released for SatellaView, some are remakes or updates and others were created specifically for the service. The Apple Pippin ATMARK was initially incepted in 1993. This console went through 3 CEOs before Steve Jobs, upon his return, killed it off. While being an incredibly powerful console for its time, mostly its lack of games and high price point led to its demise. Back in 1999, some 3 years after the Nintendo 64 console was launched, Nintendo released this 64MB magnetic disk drive for the Japanese market. Only 10 64DD discs were ever released, including 3 third-party games and 1 internet application suite. Coming from the makers of the Tamagotchi, the WonderSwan is playable both vertically and horizontally. It featured some quite famous anime titles like Final Fantasy. Its initial release featured a monochromatic screen that was later upgraded with an LCD screen, which was then upgraded to a TFT. The Panasonic Q is a special version of Nintendo's GameCube that can play DVDs, video and audio CDs, and MP3s. The full-size discs can be inserted via a front-loading slot disc tray. The price point was higher than if you would have bought a GameCube and a DVD player separately. Nokia realized that a lot of people were carrying around a phone and a portable gaming console, so they combined it into the N-Gage series. The first released version got nicknamed Taco as the shape looked like one. Several other first-generation issues and design flaws were corrected in later versions. The XaviXPORT console was a fitness-based game console. It reminds me a little bit of the Nintendo Wii console bundled with Wii Sports. However, each different sport had a specific controller shaped like the sports equipment used. 23 titles are known to have been released, with some being exclusive to certain regions. The Mattel HyperScan features an RFID scanner that reads and writes to special cards called IntelliCards. Only 5 titles are known to have been released. Besides the outdated 2D-only graphics and a weak game library, the amount of IntelliCards needed to complete the set were all factors in its downfall. Last up for today we have the Playdate. It stands out from other similar handhelds by featuring a mechanical crank and a 2-bit black and white screen. It includes one season of games, which totals 24, developed by Panic itself as well as indie game developers. Each week 2 were released. So there you have it, 20 gaming consoles in 20 seconds each. If you know of any other weird gaming consoles, leave a comment below. If you liked what I have shown you, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Over and out.